Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 4th International Conference on Business, Economy, Education, Engineering, Social Science, Supply Chain, Technology, and Tourism 2022. We give this conference the code name of BEST22. Okay. My name is Dr. Safai, and I'm the chairman of the conference organizing committee. So on behalf of my team, I'm very thankful to have your participation in this virtual conference. Despite the day and the timing, like it is over the weekend. Moreover, it's on the last day of year 2022, and the new year 2023 is just looming around the corner in another 7 or 8 hours from now. So I would like to personally, on behalf of my team, to welcome Lola Fitria from STEE KBP Padang, Sumatra, right, Lola?
All right, sir. Okay.
Great. And then Nick. Nick from Raja Mangala University of Technology, Lana, Chiang Mai, Thailand.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
Right. And then we also have Novra Anumasta from Universitas Indonesia, Depok, Jawa Barat, Indonesia. Welcome all of you to this conference. I am very, very honored and very, very thankful for having you in this virtual conference. Okay. So this BEST22 conference is the last installment of our series of conference for 2022. In fact, we have organized over 20 conferences since January 2022 until today. And along the way, we have published over 20 conference proceeding books and over 220 papers that we publish in our various reference journals throughout this year. Okay. So before we start with your presentation, please spare me about 10 minutes to go through the the handbook that I actually provided to you. Okay. So just a quick one so that I can give you a little update on this one. Okay. So this is the agenda for the day. Okay, you all have signed in and registered in our conference URL. And then now actually I am taking 10 minutes of your time to do a little highlight of our conference, and then we'll follow that with the presentation session as per our schedule. I expect this to finish around 5 p.m. our time, and then we will have a Q&A for maybe 15 minutes or so. If we have more Q&A, then it will be taking a longer time, but that is fine. The longer the better actually. So we expect to finish around 5:15, 5:30 today. But on the outlook, from the list that I have, from the list that we have, we are expected to have 7 presenters, 2 listeners. However, from the presenter side, presenter number 4 and number 5 informed us this morning that they are not able to join our conference. I'm not sure because they don't tell me, they don't tell us whether they want to change into a pre-recorded, video presentation, or they want to move their presentation or their participation in our next conference. So they have not actually confirmed that with us. Number 1, Lola is here. Muhammad Ikram, Rihana, I received no confirmation, though they have already paid the fees. So I'm not sure. Okay. And then Novra is here. Thank you very much. Nick is here. Dr. Ahmad Fahmi and Dr. Aizan Azira. not here yet. Okay. So maybe we just have probably three presentation this afternoon. Maybe. Okay. That depends. I hope they can join us so to make it more to make it more interesting. Actually, they have more, the more the better actually. Okay. All right, let's move on. So these are the list of the participation for today. And then most importantly is probably you need to know what next after this conference. Okay. So first thing first, we will generate the conference certificates. Okay. For you, we will generate the certificate in PDF format. Okay. That will be generated over today and tomorrow. So we expect you to receive the certificates in PDF format via your email by tomorrow latest. Okay. This certificate also cover your co-author. So if you mention co-author in your papers, your co-author will also receive a copy of the conference certificates. Okay. The next thing after that, we'll for those participants in our conference submitted their video, we will publish their video in our YouTube channel also by tomorrow. And then we will provide the URL of that video to those participants who have registered as a pre-recorded video presenter. And then they will also receive the conference certificate in PDF format. Okay. Subsequently to this, we will be publishing the conference proceeding book. Normally we will publish that within 2 weeks from the conference deadline. That is 2 weeks from today. Yeah. So all papers submitted and accepted in this conference will be published in conference proceeding book. Okay. Similarly, all participants in this conference are entitled to have their paper published in our referee journal as well. So that will happen between 1 to 3 months, actually depending on when the conference is actually taking place, because we publish our journal 4 times a year. So our next this month is our publication month, but since this conference is actually on the last day of the month, I don't think we can publish this month. So your papers will be published in the next issue, which is in March 2023. Yeah. So that will take another 2 to 3 months to publish, which is also okay to you, to the authors, to the participant, because you still have time if you wish to make a revision to your papers, before we publish in the journal. Okay. So if the conference happened to be in early March, for instance, okay, on the first week of March, then we should able to publish papers, okay, submitted in that conference in early March for the March 2023 issues. I give you an example. So it can be as early as, within a month or within 2 weeks from the date of the conference, or as late as probably 2.5 to 3 months if the conference happened like, this BEST22, which is at the end of the year. So the next publication is in March. All right. So that's how it goes. In our website, we did mention we also offer publication service for high index journals such as Scopus and also Web of Science. But then we have actually ceased temporarily providing that service since the pandemic began, which is last year in 2020 actually, from April. The pandemic has moved from pandemic. The COVID-19 has moved from pandemic to endemic phase starting April this year in Malaysia. And I think also that happened in other countries as well. But then we notice publication in high index journal is no longer, it's not the same situation wise compared to how it went actually before the pandemic. Publication is more complicated, taking a longer time. Acceptance is also taking a longer time. The cost, the pricing structure is also has increased tremendously, in my opinion. It's more expensive. So for that reason, we decided not to provide any service because of a lot of uncertainties. Normally, because we know some people in the industry, our editors who used to be the editors for Scopus publication are no longer providing that service also. So we do not have that contact anymore. That's why we cannot like guarantee that acceptance is within 1 month or 2 months and so on. Okay. So we don't provide that service. Probably we will resume that service by second quarter next year. Also depending on how the situation look like. Okay. Okay, this is how the the certificate is going to look like roughly. We'll email a certificate like this to you, and then on the right side is how actually the the title and also the description, a short description of the video that we publish in our YouTube for those who submitted their video recording of their presentation. Okay, so this is the title of the video, and also down here is actually the abstract of the papers. Yeah. And then publication in conference proceeding book, CBP. So I said within 2 weeks. Yeah, it will happen within 2 weeks, and it is with ISBN number. It is not online. We'll email you in PDF format. Anybody knows why it is not online?
No, sir.
We don't publish online because we want to avoid similarity index issue, because from our experience, the paper that you submit to our conference, the same paper that we publish in proceeding, the same paper also will be published in the journal. Okay, our journal are all online. So if the proceeding book is online, we will have a lot of problem with similarity index, similarity issues. Okay, so that's why one is offline in paper format, in PDF format, the other one is online, right? So 95% of the papers submitted to us, the authors or the participant choose not to make any revision at all. So it stays the same. So by doing this way, the publication of proceeding book offline or in PDF format is to avoid that kind of situation. Okay. Okay. And then the publication in the proceeding book look like this. Okay, we will have a title like this one. Yeah. The cover page, and then followed by the this is the copyright page, so-called, and then preface, abstract, and also the table of content, depending on the number of paper that we receive for that particular conference, and followed by your paper. Okay, and the paper arranged in alphabetical order. Okay, it comes with ISBN number. Okay. And then in the reference journal, in our website, we mentioned there are about 7 journals. So your paper will be published in any one of those journals. And we believe our journal, 7 journal, cover enough or major research area. So most likely your paper will fall in any one of those journal that we have. We have a journal for management, for economy, for business. We also have journal for accounting, finance, journal for social science, humanities, journals for technology, journal for education and pedagogy, and so on. I think it should be sufficient enough for all research area there is. Okay. So this journal come with ISSN number, and it is indexed in Google Scholar and also our Malaysian standard indexing, which is my journal under citation and informatics center, or in our local language, we call Pusat Citasi dan Informatrik. Yeah. Some participant asked me whether it's indexed in Scopus or not. No, our journals are not indexed in Scopus. For the benefit of all of us, actually indexing in Scopus takes a lot of effort, and a lot of requirements have to be met, such as you must have a certain number of publication for every issue. You must have publication cited X number of citation for the whole particular quarter or half yearly or yearly. You must have your editorial board comprising of, members from all over the world. Cannot be from Malaysia alone, or from Thailand alone, or from England alone, for that matter, or the US. It has to be a mix of board members from several countries around the world. That's the requirement. So it's quite a challenging requirement, but it's not impossible. We actually, that is our target, to have at least several of our journal to be indexed in Scopus. But it is taking time. We need to have X number of publication in per issue. Those requirements have to be met, So it's a still long way to go to be indexed in Scopus. But once our journal are indexed in Scopus, the pricing will be different already. Okay. The price will be more expensive to publish in high index journal anyway. Okay. All right. So these are our referee journals. There are 7 journals. Referee journal, we call it. We have many editorial board members who are actually reviewing your papers, and they are all attached to our local higher learning institution in Malaysia. Okay. Your paper will fall in any of this journal. Okay. All right. So the next one will be, these are the upcoming conferences. The one in yellow is the one that we have now, which is the BEST 22. The venue is in Langkawi. The next one that we're going to have is in Sunday, 29 January 2023. We're going to have it in Kuala Lumpur. And then in February, 19 February, also on Sunday, we're going to have it in Penang. And then on March, 5th of March, we have a conference called BEST23. We'll do that in Kuala Lumpur. We have other series of conferences for the month of April and onward until December, but we have not published yet in the online. So once we are done with that, we can actually, if you wish, we can provide you the URL to access the conference website. But for these 3, we have the website ready online. You can access. If you wish, I can provide you the URL. Maybe you have a need to attend one of these conferences, or your students, in case you are teaching, your colleague, and so on. Okay. So that's about all that I want to share with you. Before we actually start with your presentation, do you have any question at all?
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Yes, Novra, can you please speak louder?
Hello. Hello.
Okay, slightly better.
I want to clarify that the deadline for submission is still allowed until 2 weeks after today. Is it? Or
okay. In our
Because
website, we
are
mentioned
still
that the
today.
deadline for submission of papers today, actually.
Yeah. Yeah,
But I know some of the participants actually have submitted the abstract only.
like me.
Some participants have not submitted anything, but they have paid already.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand actually as an organizer and also publisher, because writing a research paper is also a challenge, you know. So it is okay. I mean, you can still submit, I think, a couple of days after today. But not too late, because we need to come up with the proceeding book by latest by 2 weeks from today. Okay. So if you submit later than 2 weeks, I cannot hold any longer, because okay, other people also waiting actually for their proceeding book to be ready. So you still have to submit within 2 weeks before we actually publish our proceeding book. That's the best arrangement that we can have. That's the most flexible we can have. Okay. But if you have your paper ready, the sooner you submit to us, the better. It's better for us and it's better for you, so that we can make early preparation for that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Another thing is, we'll still have opportunity for you to publish to make any amendment if you wish, before we publish in the journal. Okay. So this is how it goes. Participants submit full paper, and then we publish in the proceeding book verbatim. Verbatim means exact copy what you submit. Okay. No change in content, but we do change the formatting, the numbering, the header, the page number. Okay. We do change that, because to comply with the publication standard. But your content will not change. Title will not change. The name of the author, the corresponding author, and everything will not be changed for proceeding. However, before we publish in journal, normally we send email to all of you. We call it pre-journal publication. Okay. So we'll inform that your paper will be published in this particular journal, in this particular issue. Now, you have the opportunity also actually to make revision to your paper. Many participants make revision in terms of adding the references, adding the citation, changing the title of the paper also, changing the content as well. Okay. Changes to the tables, to the references, and so on. We allow that for you to make the changes before we actually publish in the journal. So you still have the opportunity, more so for this particular conference, because the publication will only happen in March next year. So you have a lot of time from today until March to make revision of your paper for journal publication. But your paper that you have submitted to us for proceeding, let it be like that. I mean, we'll publish verbatim exactly as is, without any changes. So you can change only before we publish in the journal. We allow that for participant to do. Okay, Novra?
Yes, sir. Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. Nick, do you have any question, Nick?
Not for now, thank you.
Great, great. Lola Fitria.
I think enough, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
We are now at 2:40 p.m. Malaysian time, and there is no additional sign-in request from from the rest of the participants. Oh goodness. Okay, never mind. Now that if you have no more question, I think we can actually start our presentation. From the schedule, let me see the schedule. The first one in the list is Lola. Yes, Lola Fitria, you are coming up.
Yes,
Are you ready with your presentation?
Inshallah, I'm ready.
Okay, great. Just a rule of thumb. Normally, we will allow only 10 to 15 minutes of presentation, but today, since we do not have big number of participants, well, we are a bit flexible. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You can take probably longer than 20 minutes for your presentation. You ready?
Okay, ready.
Okay, I stop sharing mine and then you can open up and share your presentation. Oh, you are there already. Okay.
Uh, can you see, sir, my screen sharing?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Nice to join with you all. Thanks for giving me opportunity to present our research. And the Honorable Dr. Safai Manier.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, sir. And all of the participants of this conference. Our title in research is the linkage of incentive, job motivation, and job satisfaction on the performance of employee in the Sikakap sub-district office in the Mentawai Island.
Yeah.
Okay. Changes are very fast and competition is getting tougher, enabling every local government agency that wants to exist must be able to build and maintain high trust from the community. In order to achieve a balance in building and maintaining the organization, a local government agency must be able to manage its human resources optimally so that it has a positive impact on the organization. Therefore, the organization must have a way of managing its human resources.
Yeah.
According to Mangkunegara in 2016, quality and quantity of performance result achieved by an employee in carrying out his duties in accordance with the responsibility given to him. And according to Dessler, 2019, an incentive is pay increase that is awarded to an employee to a specified time in the form of a higher base salary, usually based exclusively on individual performance. This is the table. It can be seen that the performance indicators of the Sikakap Camat sub-district office employee from 2018 to 2020 on average decrease. On average, in 2018, the budget absorption capacity of the Sikakap sub-district office reached up to 86% and filled in the 2020 to 84%. The literature review. According to Putu Eka 2017, incentives have a positive and significant effect on employee work motivation and job satisfaction also have a positive and significant effect on employee motivation at Bangki and the Indonesia Surabaya area. Adi Saksana 2015 states that the higher the employee perception of incentive, the higher the level of employee job satisfaction. And Mangasa Panjaitan 2015, there is a significant indirect effect of providing incentive on performance through job satisfaction. And Muhammad Nur Hassan 2016, the incentive system has an indirect role on performance through performance satisfaction. Yonan Surono 2016, who found that adequate incentive with employee expectation have positive potential for increasing employee job satisfaction. And the last one, Siagian 2015 said that satisfaction is an evaluation that describes a person for feeling happy or unhappy, satisfied or dissatisfied at work, where the level of employee satisfaction can be determined by how much the employee concerns assess job satisfaction or the incentive received from the company are appropriate. Research method. The population member of the Sikakap Subdistrict Office employee staffing totally in 34 people. The technique in taking the sample uses a total sampling technique or whole sample. Total sampling is a sampling technique where the number of samples is equal to the population by Sugiono 2070. This is the model y equal a plus b1 x1 plus b2 x2 plus b3 x3 plus error term, where y is performance, a intercept constant, x1 incentive, x2 work motivation, x3 job satisfaction, b1 b2 is regression coefficient, and e is error term. The result of classical test theory, the normality test, multicollinearity test, and heteroskedasticity test. The normality test using the method Kolmogorov-Smirnov test the each variable. The regression model is normally distributed if the value of the Kolmogorov-Smirnov signs for each variable is greater than 0.05. Multicollinearity test is to look at the tolerance and VIF value of each independent variable if the tolerance value is bigger than 0.10 and the VIF value is more than 10. The data free from multicollinearity symptoms. And heteroskedasticity test detecting the presence of heteroskedasticity in this study use the plot graph or scatter plots test. This test, if there is no clear pattern, such as points spread above and below the number 0. On the y-axis, then there is no heteroskedasticity. This is the result of multiple linear regression analysis test result. Can we see this in the column significance? There is the following is recap table for the result of regression coefficient value that under 0.005. This is coefficient value, T count, significant value, F count value, and R square value. In the significant, we can see the significant is under 0.005.
Lola, sorry, can you go back to that earlier slide? Yes. The motivation variable under the B value is -124 or -0.124.
Yeah. Motivation, yes.
Yeah. Is it -124?
Yeah, -124 is beta is we found a negative in this issue. In this case, is motivation is -1.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Oh, sorry. It's not a negative. It's positive. Sorry. The result is in the model
should
is
be 0.124.
Okay. Okay. 0.124. Yes, okay. I will change it after this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, sir. The result regression equation model for the effect of incentive for motivation incentive on employee performance at Sikakap District Office is as follows. Y equal 49.582 plus 0.504 for x1 plus 0.124 x2 and 0.234 x3. The explanation of the equation is A is for constanta. From the above equation, it can be seen there that there is a constant value of 49,582, which means that if incentive, work motivation, job satisfaction are zero, then the value of the performance variable is at 49.582. This means that the variable of incentive, work motivation, job satisfaction contribute to improving the performance of the Sikakap Sub-District Office employees. B1 is beta 1 is 0.504. It means that the value of the incentive regression coefficient is positive. This means that the incentive increase by 1 unit, it will result in the increase in performance of in the unit. B2 is 0.124. It means that the value of regression coefficient of motivation is positive. And B3, 0.234. It means that value of regression coefficient of job satisfaction is positively. This is the F-test or simultaneous test. Now, this regression for F-test, the simultaneous of all the variable is significant that under 0.006. Based on the result of the analysis of the F-test, it is known that the significant level of the incentive, motivation, and job satisfaction variable is 0.00 or under 0.05. Thus, null hypothesis or null is rejected and alternative hypothesis or HA is accepted. So that the alternative hypothesis proposed in this study is accepted, meaning that there is a jointly significant influence between incentive, motivation, and job satisfaction on the performance at Sikakap Sub-District Office employees. This is the coefficient of determinant or R-square result. Based on the result of the analysis, R-square is 0.625. It means that 6.5% of employee performance is influenced by the independent variables, incentive, work motivation, job satisfaction, while the remaining 37.5% is influenced by other variables outside the model. This is conclusion and recommendation. The significant probability is less than 0.05 with significant level of 0.00. As the result, null hypothesis is rejected and alternative hypothesis is accepted. Incentive, motivation, and job satisfaction variables simultaneously affect the performance of the Sikakap Sub-District Office employees. For incentive, it is recommended for agencies to pay attention to incentive for employee within the agency because this will affect the performance of employee in the agency. For motivation, it is suggested the agencies to pay attention to employee motivation in working by increasing the motivation of employees in the agency, because this will have an impact on increasing their performance and enthusiasm at work. For job satisfaction, it is recommended that agency pay attention to agency job satisfaction by creating job satisfaction in the agency, because this will have an impact on employees. The agency management is expected to pay attention to incentive, motivates employee, and create good job satisfaction in agency, because to achieve better productivity and achievement of agency's goals. Okay, that's all. With thanks for the time and attention. If you have any suggestion and question, please welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Lola Fitria. Interesting, very interesting insight of your research. But I just like to maybe remind you, there is a small correction in your analysis just when you presented that way. Maybe you can make correction in your paper, and then resubmit back the paper to us so that we can publish the correct one. You okay with that?
Okay, sir.
Make correction on the paper and then resubmit the paper to us. I think the table is similar, the one that you show, and also the one that is actually written in the paper, right?
Yeah, right. Sir.
I guess so. I don't exactly remember. Okay, but I guess it is the same actually. Okay, but my question is, when you mentioned about local government agency, is it like similar the local government who, like in Malaysia, is we call it the local council, okay, who does they collect the tax, what we call is cukai pintu in our term. Okay, there's a tax for every household within that community, within that particular area, and then they provide services such as a waste collection, housing, residential, lighting, beautification, public service maintenance like road maintenance and so on. Is this the same like the SIKAKAP, the local agency, in terms of services that they provide?
Yeah. Okay, sir. The SIKAKAP agency is Office of Sub-District on SIKAKAP. This is in the Mentawai Island. Is one of district in the West Sumatra. Mentawai Island is have a sub-district. Is one of them is SIKAKAP, and the SIKAKAP is manage the job desk is to manage is the community, to make citizen card or give the donate for the low income people, or
I see.
like others. Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to relate to the one that we currently have in Malaysia. There is some similarity, yes, but I think it's quite different from what I expect actually from our local council. Anyway, yeah. You choose SIKAKAP is big. Why do you choose SIKAKAP anyway as your data and database?
Okay, Mentawai Island is West Sumatra. The province of West Sumatra, the major of a city in West Sumatra is Padang. Yes. In Padang, to go to SIKAKAP, we can go there by boat. By boat, and it's spend time in one day to go there, and it's a very what we say is terasing like that.
Very small community,
yeah,
right?
small community.
Yeah,
In there is
isolated, yeah, very isolated.
in there is origin people in there in suku Mentawai, like
Mentawai,
that.
yeah.
Suku Nias.
Yeah.
It's terpencil in Indonesia is terpencil, what is it like that? Terpencil.
Isolated, yeah, very isolated and remote.
Yeah. Because is in the Mentawai Island, in Sikakap Island is far from Mentawai Island.
Oh, okay,
That,
all right.
Yeah. So the transportation, the accommodation to there is very have a big effort to go there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's very remote and very isolated. Is very
isolated,
difficult to access.
Benar.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Very difficult to access there. Okay.
Yeah.
So naturally, probably for for the people who work with the Sikakap sub-district, certainly the incentive and job motivation and I think satisfaction you just mentioned just now is very important as to increase their performance and also their productivity. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And they have 34 officers, I would say, staff.
Yeah, officer. Yeah.
And all 34 participated with the data provided to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Participate on the data.
So how do you collect the data from them? Is it a set of questionnaire, like a normal questionnaire, or you interview them?
I give a questionnaire.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you send questionnaire to all of them and all of them responded?
Yeah, all of them responded. I go there.
Oh, you went there, right? Okay.
Yeah. One of the researcher is in the first name is Hoskilius. Hoskilius in the first name of our research is in there. Stay in there.
Okay.
And origin from there.
So
from
I see.
Sikakap.
Okay.
Come from Sikakap.
So he's from Nia tribe or he's from Mentawai tribe?
Nias.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. I open up to Novra and also Nick. If you have any question regarding Lola Fitria's presentation.
I think it's interesting, and I have no comment yet. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I also don't have any questions for now.
Okay. Any more question? No more question. Okay, thank you, Lola. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
For the nice presentation. If you're okay, you can make the changes in your paper. If you do not wish to change, it's fine. But I guess before we publish in our journal later, which is in March, it is better for you to make the correction in the paper as well.
Okay, I will correct and I will send to the email of BEST.
And then another thing, I think at the beginning of your introduction, you mentioned a lot about incentive. Okay. Yeah. While your framework, actually, you look from not only incentive, but you look the other two variable as well, right? The satisfaction and also I think the other one is incentive, satisfaction, and
job satisfaction.
Job satisfaction, incentive, and the other one is I forgot just now. Maybe you put a little more
incentive, job motivation, and job satisfaction.
Motivation, correct. Motivation and job satisfaction. Yeah, maybe you give more description or maybe background a bit more on the other two variable, because this variable is included in your framework. But like you say, you mentioned about incentive more than the other two, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just add
maybe
that one.
maybe in my presentation like that. In the our article, I will see a little.
It's quite
sneak
it's
peek,
quite
yeah.
comprehensive. It cover both.
Yeah,
It covers all those three variables, right?
yeah.
Okay, that is fine.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Lola.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you very
welcome,
much.
sir. Thank you, sir.
So now I would like to call upon the next presenter is Novra Numasta. Are you ready, Novra?
Inshallah, sir. Okay.
Good, great. Novra, you are from Depok. Are you from Depok?
Yeah. Actually, I live in Jakarta, but
Oh, you live in
universitas
Jakarta,
yeah,
but
but
asli
Universitas
Depok.
Indonesia.
Aslinya di mana, Mas?
Asli orang tua Padang.
Ah,
Parents
okay.
from Padang, but I live in Jakarta and
Masya
study in the
Orang Jawa Barat dia ngecaprak dia.
Wah, bisa bahasa Sunda.
Baik, silakan.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Safai, Nick, and Lola. Today, I'm going to present my final assignment. The topic is regarding road pricing effects on mode changing and road network performance. And the study case is in Jakarta CBD area.
Changing and road.
Okay, I have prepared a summary on maybe around 8 to 10 slides to summarize my research on this topic. So the research is regarding road pricing. Road pricing is a transportation demand management tools, one of transportation demand management tools. It is a policy to make vehicle users, especially private vehicle users such as motorcycle and car, to pay directly for driving on a particular road in a particular area. Then currently traffic condition in Jakarta as the capital city and affected by its surrounding called Greater Jakarta or Jabodetabek, Jakarta, Bogor, Depok, Tangerang, and Bekasi. Currently, the average volume capacity ratio is 1.57. It means it's quite congested. And the average speed on peak hour is 22 km per hour, especially during morning and going to work hour and going back to home hour. While the road pricing plan itself, actually it's still still not implemented, but the latest issue from the FGD said that it will be they are going to set a trial corridor in the actually the plan is supposed to be this year, but until now still not happened. The plan said that the tariff around 5,000 rupiah until 20,000 rupiah, and it varied based on vehicle type, such as motorcycle maybe not as expensive as car, and it also varied based on the congestion level. So the more congested situation in the road, the more tariff will be charged. So the rationale behind the study, ideally the implementation of road pricing itself as the transport management tools must not prevent existing private vehicle users to make their routine trips to destination inside the every area. So then that's why mode changing may happen. So maybe the mode changing from car to public transport or car to motorcycle will happen when there is a tariff implemented. And the problem is the difference between tariff for each type of vehicle as planned by the city government might cause that shifting of private vehicle users to other modes, especially cars to motorcycle. But if the changing from car or motorcycle to public transport, that is very good. That's why that's the goal. But according to survey from the government, only a little of them want to change to public transport completely from their home to their workplace, maybe less than 5 or 6%. So it's very little. So that's why we guess there will be more changing from car to motorcycle because of this RP plan.
Yeah.
Some study a study on the driver behavior by Yamamoto in Risky implies that the presence of road pricing on road network may cause shifting or modify their routes, departure times, or even travel purpose. Or even maybe they cancel their trip and wait until there is no RP and go when the RP tariff is zero. Another study shows that the more RP tariff charged for private cars, the more private car users shift their travel modes to other modes, and this is quite logic. So the objective of the study is to analyze the ex-ante probability of mode changing for private vehicle only for car and motorcycle. So we only focus on these two types of existing private vehicles under the effect of an area designed and examines its impact on road network performance. The ex-ante probability means the decision to change or shift their modes is happened before is happened at home, not on the road. So to address this issue, there are 2 points that we must solve. First one is how to make a model for mode changing with the presence of RP, road pricing. This is to make the model split on the matrix later. Then the last one is to how to see or grasp the impact of mode changing itself with the RP tariff on the network performance. Thus, we make a traffic assignment simulation. Some limitations and assumptions we used. A road pricing area is limited to a close designated area in a CBD area. In this case, this red dot boundary is a CBD area, our study area. It's around 6 kilometers square. And while the whole network of Jabodetabek is around 6,000 kilometer square area. Mode changing focuses on existing car and motorcycle users who have destination within the RP area with given 6 mode changing choices. Then with the another assumption is with the presence of road pricing, all trips must still occur. So nobody change or modify their departure times or cancel their travels. Last, to evaluate the performance, we only evaluate the volume capacity ratio of the network. So these are the choices or alternatives that we observe. So for each car user and motorcycles, they have 6 alternatives. The first one, for example, for car user, they still remain riding his or her car from origin their home to the destination or their workplace with the presence of the tariff of road pricing. The second one, they shift from car to motorcycle completely from origin to destination. The third one, they still use their car but stop at the nearest point around the boundary. Maybe they park there and they continue the journey to the office on foot. The fourth one, similar to the third one, they stop at the nearest point outside the boundary, then continue the journey with ojek Ojek is like a motorcycle taxi. Then the fifth alternative is using the bus from the transit point to their office. The sixth one is using the taxi from the transit point to the office. So there are 6 alternatives. The same pattern also applied to motorcycle users. This is a simplified methodology of the research. So we did a preference survey to get primary data through online questionnaire. So the criteria for the respondent is they who have destination inside the RP area, because our focus is only to these people. Then from them we construct the utility functions to get the probability of mode changing with multinomial logit. Then we also got another secondary data from the latest comprehensive study of JICA 2019. We borrowed their network for Jabodetabek area, demand matrices, and other necessary road network parameters be able to. Then we use this to input from utility probability and the network to make a traffic assignment with some scenario of road pricing combination tariff and get the result and evaluate the volume capacity ratio. So this is to illustrate how mode changing happens. So from car user, they will be split into 6 options. Each options have their own utility function. Then we can construct the probability from this utility using logit assumption with using multinomial logit. Then we can get a number of car outside the area who go to the transit point, and then we can get the number of vehicles they used from transit point to the destination inside the area for car and motorcycle. And this is the utility functions that we construct for each alternative for each group of vehicle users, existing car users and motorcycle users. We used 2 variables here, only travel cost and travel time. Sorry. So the difference between the cost between maybe shifting to motorcycle to car will make utility is decrease and higher probability to move to motorcycle and so on. As for traffic assignment itself, on the network, we only rely on link performance function. So there are 2 types of link performance functions. The first one is special. We put on this black link for each entrance link. We add a function of tariff pricing, while for the rest of the links we only use normal BPR formula without the tariff. And this is the results of the simulation. So on the first table, the first column, when the car is 0 and motorcycle tariff is 0, this one is for car user. The probability of using cars still remain car is 100%, as we expected. But when we add tariff of car 10,000 rupiah and motorcycle 0, some of the car user shift to motorcycle or other or combination car then walk and car then ojek, and some goes to car with taxi. We tested 5 tariff combination, 10,000 rupiah with for car and 0 rupiah for motorcycle, and and until car 50,000 rupiah and motorcycle 50,000 rupiah. We can see here every increase. If we increase the car tariff 10,000 rupiah, the volume of car users to remain car will decrease from 100% to 69%. And also for motorcycle, the more we add the tariff motorcycle, the more motorcycle users shift to another alternatives. And we can see here most of the car user will shift to motorcycle and to bus, while for existing motorcycle users will tend to shift to combine motorcycle and using bus from the boundary to their destination. And the graph on the right side, this is the evaluation, the result of the volume capacity ratio of the network. So the x-axis is the tariff combination. The first one is for the baseline when the tariff for car is 0 and motorcycle is 0. This one is when car 10,000 rupiah and motorcycle is 0 rupiah, and so on. While the y-axis is the volume capacity ratio of the network. So the red one is value for zone inside the RP area. The green one is let's say buffer one, zone one. It's 0 to 2 kilometer outside the boundary, while the green blue one is from 2 kilometer to 4 kilometer outside the boundary, and the gray one is from 4 kilometer to 6 kilometer outside the boundary, and the last one, the black one, is more than 6 kilometer outside the boundary. So we can see here, we focus on the red one. The more we add the tariff, the volume capacity ratio is getting lower. It means it's the volume is decreased inside the area, but it also with the additional of tariff will make the zone outside the area, especially the first ring, the green one, is a bit more congested because maybe they detour to this network. So this is the last slide, the conclusion of the study. From 5 tariff combinations test, it is found that a combination tariff of 30,000 rupiah for car and 20,000 rupiah for motorcycles maximize the road performance best. And in terms of volume capacity ratio within the area, the red one, and in the vicinity of the area where detour taken place to avoid imposed tariff. The difference road pricing tariff for car and motorcycle user tends to make more mode changing, especially for those who have destination inside the RP area. Because for those who have destination outside the area, have more alternative to reach their destination. Maybe they can make detour to avoid the road pricing area. And this is the aggregate volume of mode changing for each car group and motorcycle for tariff 30,000 rupiah and 20,000 rupiah for motorcycle. That's all. Thank you. If you have any questions or maybe correction, are welcome.
So Novra, this road pricing, has this been implemented in Jakarta?
No, still
at a study level.
Still at government level, still on plan.
I see. Okay, all right. But from your finding, it looks like the expected result is going to be positive, right?
Yeah.
It looks to be. But what could be the issue? Because also in Malaysia, especially in Kuala Lumpur, we have not implemented the RP. Also, For some reason, I think a couple of years back we tried, but then it probably just like in Indonesia, so it's still at the authorities level. You know, they
Yeah.
they probably anticipate some other problem, you know, if they implement. I think in Singapore they have implemented that, and they have implemented that quite well.
Yeah, in Singapore, they already implemented since
Yes.
1966,
Yeah.
1975 maybe. So they have already implemented in very long time.
That's right. That's right. I'm not sure in Bangkok or in Chiang Mai. Nick, do you have any idea whether you have any road pricing?
In Bangkok, yes, but in Chiang Mai,
Oh, there is, right?
probably,
There is in
yeah,
Bangkok also.
right, because in Chiang Mai is a small city, right? Smaller city, and we
Yeah,
only
yeah.
have like private hiring.
But road pricing is there in they have implemented in Bangkok, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, okay, right, right. How is the the result or the implication? Is it positive from the perspective of road users and also from the government who is managing the situation?
In
Is it
Jakarta?
no, no, in Bangkok just now?
Oh,
You mean road
Was it
pricing?
was it well accepted by the population, by the public, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think the public accepted the road pricing scheme from the
Okay,
government,
I
and
see.
in
Okay,
Thailand, it is
all right.
quite, you know, people don't really complain a lot because actually the government provide good road for the people. So I think they are happy about that.
I see. Okay, right, right. So back to Novra, what could be
yes.
the reason they are not actually implementing it yet? They're still holding the implementation. Probably they anticipate some issues and so on. What do you expect the issue could be from this
I
implementation?
I think the main issue is because this is quite major. So maybe the people acceptance will be the main issue on the first 2 years
I see.
to accept the policy, because currently they don't need to pay any fee to driving to that specific area, but suddenly government makes us to pay. Maybe there will be a pro and cons between the government and the vehicle users during the
Yeah, yeah.
first year of the implementation. Maybe that's all. That's it. And also currently Jakarta still have some construction of LRT, MRT. So maybe the current situation is still congested because of that construction. So maybe that's why government still on hold the policy to make sure the road road is on the best performance for us. Then they can propose the road pricing implementation.
I think the situation is similar in Kuala Lumpur. They have not implemented yet. They have discussed, I think, quite comprehensively on the road pricing. But until now they have not implemented it. But we noticed in Kuala Lumpur. I'm not sure what happened in either in Jakarta or in Bangkok for that matter. The parking rate has increased tremendously. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
maybe 3-4 times, higher than it used to be 10 years ago. But still people are driving car in Kuala Lumpur. I think of the recent situation that we have is because of the flood situation and so on, that has some impact as far as people driving to their workplace in Kuala Lumpur. I think they because not because of the road pricing or whatever they have, or because of the rate of the parking has increased tremendously, but because the fear of flash flood, especially in Kuala Lumpur. So that also reduced the the number of road users driving their car to their workplace actually. So this is quite interesting to know that the fear of flood actually is also helping actually reduce the traffic in the city, especially in the peak hours during office time actually.
So the flat tariff is lower than
No,
previous year?
the flood, the fear of flood. So people don't drive their car actually.
Oh,
Okay, so the car stay at home. They take public transport, or they take their motorcycle to go to work actually.
yeah.
Okay, but this
Okay.
this is interesting. I think Singapore has implemented this quite successfully.
Yeah.
Kuala Lumpur has not. Jakarta has not. Bangkok have implemented in some areas. So actually, this can be implemented, except probably the issue is with the issue of the enforcement and so on,
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm not sure whether the issue can be political as well. It can be, if you see from the perspective of the people, right? So
Yes.
unpopular measures like road pricing and so on is normally if they were to put it up, they will put it up during the early stage of their term, political term
Yeah, yeah.
after the election. Okay.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay. Is there any question, Lola? Do you have any question, Lola Fitria? Lola, I'm not at her place now. Okay. Okay. All right then. All right. Thank you very much, Nova.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your papers. Quite interesting. I think it's a good finding also to support the plan to implement. All right. So
Okay, thank you.
I would like to call upon now Nick. Are you ready, Nick, with your presentation? Hello, Nick. Okay. Can you start now?
Yes, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Chairman, สวัสดีครับทุกคน I'm Mr. Deshathon from Thailand. My topic today is about the education field. Excuse me from my presentation. I have to go back to the first slide. Okay. So can you see my screen well?
Yes, I can.
My presentation today is about the motivation and attitudes towards learning English of the Chan students in Chan community in Chiang Mai province. Chiang Mai is in the north of Thailand. It is quite a small city comparing to Bangkok, but there are about probably 500,000 living in the city, and the whole province have about like 1 million people. For the introduction, I'm going to talk about the Chan people. The Chan or Thai Yai is the second largest ethnic group in Myanmar. They live in Chan state in the northeastern Myanmar. Before becoming a British colony, the Chan state and Myanmar had communicated, traded, and assisted one another. In 1947, after World War II, Myanmar authorities tried persuading the Prince of Chan to declare independence from the British Empire. So a contract was drawn up stating that the ethnic groups that signed the Panglong Agreement could be independent from one another after 10 years of being together. In 1948, England gave Myanmar and Chan independence. But after the change in the government of Myanmar, the changes repleted the Panglong Treaty regime. As a result, the Chan people set up their National Rescue Force. After that, people were often forced to live under Myanmar regulations and forced to work. So many refugees had to flee to Thailand. A lot of people come to Thailand. Nowadays, the numbers of registered migrant workers from Myanmar, only in my province, Chiang Mai province, is up to 60,000 people and up to 200,000 people in the northern area. The migrant workers are usually family members who send their children to receive an education in Thailand. They hope that their children will not economically struggle in the future, according to the Constitution of Thailand in 2017. The Thai government supports all the children in Thailand, no matter who you are, what ethnic minorities you are. So they support all the children for 12 years to receive compulsory schooling from kindergarten to secondary 3. So secondary 3 is about grade 10. Therefore, the Chan children who are like the migrant children, right, are given the same educational opportunities as Thai children, which provide Chan students with a chance to work in Thailand in the future. On the other hand, the Chan people who are not educated often have to work as laborers, homemakers, and gardeners that involves manual labor rather than knowledge. In Thai schooling, every student, everyone, including those of the Chan migrant, need to study many subjects, and English is one of a compulsory subject that they need to study, and it is very important for their, for their career path in the future.
Okay.
So as we know, like there are two factors, very important factors that affect success in learning English, which I am very interested in. The first one is motivation, and the second one is attitude. My research investigates the motivation, the level of motivation, and the level of attitude of the Chan students who are studying in Thailand. This research project investigated the levels of intrinsic and extrinsic motivation and the levels of attitudes toward learning English of the Chan students as non-Thai citizens. So the research questions, the first one is, what are the levels of Chan students' intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? And the second one, what are the levels of their attitudes toward learning English, which is very important for their advancement in the future. According to Howard Gardner, motivation is very important, and it is an individual work. In learning language, it is a desire to do and the satisfaction experience in the activity. When talking about motivation, we tend to think of extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. So what is the extrinsic motivation? The extrinsic is the outside, outside factors. For example, the external regulation, introjection, identification, and integration. While intrinsic motivation is about what, really comes inside you, what you really what I call internal force. According to Hornby 2001, Ibsen and Sherman Horn, attitudes, when we talk about attitudes, attitudes are inherent expression of ideas, feelings, and behaviors, both positive and negative, towards a person, things, or situation. So attitude can be learned or managed through life experience. And of course, when we talk about attitude, we think of positive attitude and negative attitude, right? I have investigated some previous studies. For example, I investigated the study called Motivation in English Language Learning of the students at Sitaku Ketumati Buddhist Academy in Myanmar. This study is quite similar to my study. Narada and Kanok Kamal, I think Kanok Kamaladi and Clinton, they studied this topic in 2020. And the objective is to study the motivation in English language learning of the student and types of motivation in English language learning in Myanmar. And the study investigated 46 students who were studying at Sitaku Ketumati Buddhist School, and the instrumental and integrative motivation questionnaires were used. The result was that the students of Sitaku Ketumati Buddhist are highly motivated to learn English, and the level of motivation is integrative motivation, which is the integrative motivation is higher than the instrumental motivation. These are just the example, which will be, some of them will be in my paper. And also I investigated the studies of the attitudes and motivation toward learning English from Senki and Kalak, who aim to find the level of student attitude and motivation in learning English and the correlation between students' attitude and their motivation. So the previous studies, some of them will appear in my paper, and they mainly talk about the attitude and motivation of students learning English. But my major concern is the motivation and the attitude of the Chan student in Thailand. So for the methodology, I used a mixed method, which is questionnaire and interview. So the research participants, there are 40 participants, consist of 10 vocational certificate students in Chiang Mai, 10 high vocational certificate students, 10 non-English major undergraduate students, and 10 English major undergraduate students. So there are like mixed levels of students, but all of them are Chan students. Chan student here means, the students who are not the Thai citizen. They are children of the migrants from Myanmar, as I mentioned earlier. And I use purposive sampling method. For the research instrument, the questionnaire adapted from Gardner's 1985 attitude and motivation test battery, or we call it AMTB, was used. We adapted and we try to bring in some new question, which is very related to our research. So part one of the questionnaire will be the general information, which includes their genders, their age, and education. Part two of the questionnaire asks about the levels of Chan students' intrinsic and extrinsic motivation towards learning English. Here, we have 5 intrinsic motivation and 5 extrinsic motivation. As you can see from the picture over here, extrinsic motivation is something like grades, their grade, punishment, money, or praise. Something outside, like what we call outside factors, maybe. And intrinsic motivation is something come from within you, like pride, interest, achievement, curiosity. Part 3 of the questionnaire is the levels of Chan students' attitude toward learning English. There are 10 attitudes. And part 4 is the in-depth interview with 7 questions. We also interview students. For the data collection, first we contacted the participants, and then we approached the respondents to ask them to complete the questionnaire. And the third step is that taking time in rating the questionnaire about 5 to 7 days, about a week. And then we choose 8 chance students from each group for in-depth interview. And the interview lasts about 15 to 20 minutes. And there are 8 questions in the interview. So for the data analysis, part 1, part 2, and part 3. Okay, so we use the percentage to estimate the data for part 1 for their gender, their age and education. And part 2, we use the mean and standard deviation or SD. And part 3, we use the Likert 4-point scale, which you can see here. 4 is strongly agree, 3 agree, 2 slightly agree, and 1 strongly disagree. 2 slightly disagree, sorry. And then part 4 is we have like coding and categorizing. For the finding was divided into 3 parts. The first one is the demographic data. The second one is the questionnaire about the levels of intrinsic and extrinsic motivation and attitude toward learning English. And the third one is the interview information we receive from the students. For the demographic data, the gender, 85% is female and 15% is male. So we have more female students at our university. For the whole proportion, I think the females are more than the males. And of course, for the chance student, the majority is female. The age, about 35% is between 18 to 19 years old, and 37.5% of them are 22 or more. And we have like 27.5% who are 20 to 21 years old. For their educational level, they receive vocational, 25% of them receive vocational certificate. This is not the university level. It's just like comparing to high school level. Then we have high vocational certificate. This is like a 2-year college certificate. And then for the undergraduate student, 25% of them are English major undergraduate, and another 25 is non-English major undergraduate. But everyone here needs to study English as a compulsory subject. For the motivation and attitude levels, we have divided the student into four groups, right? The first one, the student who study in the vocational certificate is group 1. Group 2, high vocational certificate, which is about like a 2-year college degree. And then we have undergraduate, but we divided into non-English major and English major undergraduates. It is found that over here, number 4, I wish I were fluent in English. They want to be fluent in English since they know that if they are fluent in English, it can lead to a good job in the future. All chance student has a high level at 3.63%. The next one is I want to learn English to the point where it becomes second nature to me. In Thailand, normally we study English as a foreign language, which is maybe less than a second language. I think if we use English as a second language, it requires more fluency. So most of the chance students we search, we get the information from, said that they would like to be able to become the second language learners. Okay, let's move to the um, the conclusion here. For the motivation, we divide it into intrinsic and extrinsic, right? We have 4 groups of students. 2 are lower than undergraduate level, and the other 2 fall in the undergraduate level. Okay. As you can see here, the English major undergraduate group 4 has the most intrinsic motivation. So they have the force from the inside to study English at 3.74%. I think they know that they are going to enter the job, the workforce, they are going to get a job, and they know how important the English language is when they are about to have the first job. For the extrinsic, of course, the highest is the English major undergraduate at 3.42%, at 3.42. This is the level from 4, sorry. As you can see, the lowest fall into the vocational certificate. This is the student who study in a certificate level, right, which is compared to a high school level. So they might not realize that English is important to them. So we also conduct the in-depth interview from 11 respondents. The majority of the students appear to like English, while only 2 students were not likely to appreciate English. So most of them like to study English. And from 13 responses, the students mentioned that English played a very important role in the classroom and job opportunities in the future. 8 responses that the most students frequently mentioned that they did not have a role model in learning or using English. Most of the students respond that they plan to go abroad and want to communicate in English in the future. The majority of Chan students responded that the problems and solutions to learn English were the communication skills. The majority of Chan students responded that they often improve their English skill, and steps taken to enhance their English skill were speaking English. And 8 of them said learning English is applicable for the job opportunities, which means it's very important for the job opportunities in the future. So in conclusion, most of the Chan students had a very high level of intrinsic motivation and had a high level of extrinsic motivation. This is contrastive to the Thai students. I conducted a study about motivation in learning English and attitude toward learning English among the Thai students. It is shown that Thai student has far less motivation than the Chan students. This might be because the Chan students are, non-Thai citizens, right? They have less opportunities, for job advancement or for many things. So they have to fight for themselves. They have to do their best to get a chance to get into the job, get into the workforce and get a good job in the future and improve their family economy. Most of the Chan students, they had a very high level of intrinsic motivation, quite very high, and a high level of extrinsic motivation. They tended to have more intrinsic motivation than extrinsic motivation. And they wish they were fluent in the English language and could speak English perfectly. Moreover, they want to learn English to the point where it becomes the second nature to them, not only the not only study English as a foreign language. One student said, I was confident that I would communicate well in English in the future. Moreover, I also wanted to improve my English continuously and live in an English-speaking society. For the extrinsic motivation, they found that the English language was crucial for learning because it would help them to acquire a decent job and become more educated. Moreover, their parents encourage them to practice their English because their parents also know that once they, are fluent in English, they can, get a better job. One student said, I wanted to be a hotel manager or open a hotel, and I thought I would be able to communicate in English because my future career requires communication with foreigners. For the English major undergraduate students, they have the highest intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. This is because, maybe English is their, what can I say, their major, and they choose to study English, so they have passion in study English already, so they have a higher score than any other group. For the level of Chan students' attitude toward learning English, the overall findings reveal that most of the students in the Chan community in Chiang Mai appear to have high attitudes toward learning English. One student said, I like to learn English because I wanted to work with foreigners and make new foreign friends. The grammar is not quite good because they just write down their ideas. For the conclusion, as you can see from the chart, we have intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation, and attitude, right? The Chan students who are studying in Chiang Mai have a very high intrinsic motivation, which is the inner force. They know that English is very important. So the level is 3.36%. And then for the extrinsic motivation is 3.23%. And the attitude toward learning English is quite high, 2.95%. 2.95 from the 4 level. Okay, the implication. The teachers will know the levels of the intrinsic and extrinsic motivation and the level of attitude toward learning the language of the Chan student in Chan community in Chiang Mai. It is going to be beneficial to the teachers' teaching management to suit their needs. For the recommendation for further study, although there were several groups, ethnic group in Chiang Mai and in Thailand, each group consisted of only, for the study, there are 4 groups which we categorize, right? Each group consisted of only 10 people. Therefore, in order to achieve maximum benefits and reliability for this research, it is recommended that the future surveys population can be more and diverse. Also, the duration should be more. This is the end of my presentation. If you have any suggestion or question, please ask me. And I hope that you can follow my speech. I might not speak quite fluent and clear, no?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nick. I think it's quite clear to me. It's very insightful presentation. Actually, I never know. Actually, there's this community from Myanmar that is actually residing in the northern part of Thailand. Quite a large community. I think you mentioned about what 200,000 people.
Yes, about 200,000 people in the northern part of Thailand.
Yes. The Shan community, are they Thai citizen or they are Myanmar citizen?
I think most of them don't have any nationality.
Oh,
we
yeah.
we call them like what do you call it? Like
migrant. Dia persona non grata. They don't belong to any country or any state.
right,
Stateless,
right,
yeah.
right. Stateless. We can call it stateless,
yes.
right?
I think there is also another community. I think it's Rohingya, if you know.
Right.
Yeah, Bangladesh and Myanmar borders. Yeah,
We
I
have
think.
some Rohingya in Thailand as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think there are
But
some in Malaysia, right?
some of them under UNHCR effort actually. Some of them actually residing in Malaysia. They are actually involved in mostly in the plantation and the services industry. But but I think the Thai government is kind enough actually to allow them to assimilate in the local education system. Yeah, allow them to study and learn just like their fellow Thai. I think in the same class with the Thai citizen they are, right?
Right. But from my experience and from what I have surveyed, they have more motivation in studying because I think they know that education is their only chance for life improvement.
Yes, yes. Okay. All right. You in your study you select for interview, yeah, because you do mixed method, and for the interview
Right.
you selected 11 of them, right?
Uh, yes, about 11 people. We select
Okay.
some of them.
How
Yeah,
do you
from the
select
14.
them actually? Why do you select these 11?
We select from each group. Like we have 4 group, right?
I
Vocational
see.
level.
Okay.
Yeah, and we want to make it like balance, maybe like 3 from each group or something like that. And
Yes, yes.
sometimes
Okay, okay.
it
Right,
is
right.
difficult because COVID-19,
Yes,
COVID-19,
yes,
and
of
we
course, of
cannot
course. Right, right.
get contact. Sometimes we contact one person, and then it's hard to get
Right, right.
connected. Yeah.
You also mentioned some of the issue that you're facing or they are facing is actually the communication problem, communication skill,
Right.
right?
Right.
Communication skill, but they do this community, they do speak Thai, right?
Yes, they speak perfect Thai.
Okay,
It's
great,
very
great.
interesting because they are not Thai citizen, right? But they
Yes,
were born in Thailand and
yes,
raised in
yes,
Thailand. No
yes.
nationality. They cannot. I mean, like they cannot. When they go back to Myanmar, they cannot speak any Burmese language.
Of course, of course.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think like if they are sent back to Myanmar, it's gonna be difficult for them to live there.
of course, of course. I mean,
Right.
they don't speak the Burmese language, definitely. So I think it's very difficult for them actually. Yeah. But you mentioned about the communication skill problem. I mean, communication skill in what way actually?
Communication skill in English.
Right. Okay. Okay. I
In
see.
English, yeah.
Understand now.
I think they have less opportunities to study properly. For
Yeah.
example, for the Thai students, their parents can send them to like good schools and maybe like tutoring school or probably like language schools. They have a chance to improve their language skills. But for the Burmese, I'm sorry, for the Chan students, most of them are underprivileged. Their parents are like migrant workers, laborers who work and just only like to meet day end, work today,
Yeah.
eat
Yeah.
tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then they only have like compulsory education from the government, which is in Thailand, as you know, like the language teaching, language learning and teaching is not really can follow the other country in ASEAN, right? They are
Yes.
quite
Yes. Yes.
behind. Yeah,
Understand.
right.
Understand. I'm happy to hear to hear you actually doing this research about this small community in Chiang Mai. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
I don't know actually. There's a there's a Shan community in Thai actually. Quite a number of them already.
Yeah,
So
quite a number.
yeah. So I don't have any other question. Novra, do you have any question for Nick?
Not sure, but that's quite interesting research.
Okay, all right.
Thank you for sharing the
Okay.
result.
I guess we are coming to the end actually, Nick. Just three of us. Lola Fitria, Novra, and you. The rest did not so-called turn up. Did not join the conference. Even the listeners, the two doctors, the listeners also did not attend. They have paid actually the fees.
Shall we take a group photo?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, but I will actually record. This is recorded. This conference is recorded. And then I will publish in our YouTube channel. Then I will email the URL to all of you. If we can take a group photo, I can take a screenshot.
Okay.
Novra, can you show your picture live, and then I take a screenshot, then I can share this picture to all of you later. I will email to you. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much. I got your shot, then I will email to you. So we are coming to the end of this presentation. Interesting. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for taking your time. This is weekend and then coming to New Year. I think we all will be celebrating probably a lot of firecrackers and fireworks, you know. But not in Malaysia. Not in Malaysia will be very low key celebration because Malaysia is having a new prime minister. So he came up with a lot of ideas. Try not to waste money. Try not to waste so much resources. I think our people are in dire situation. Many of us actually, especially after the pandemic and also the flood, the economy is not doing so well. And I think next month our prime minister will visit President Jokowi of Indonesia. In early February, yeah, that's true. We will. I think he will go to Jakarta and meet President Jokowi next month. I think in the early part of next month. So so that's the message. I think we all share the burden. We try to save here and there a little bit, and then we need to move on anyway. We have to be economically stronger, and also more people will be less privileged than compared to what we have now. Okay, so thank you very much again to all of you. I hope this is not the only one so-called collaboration that I have between myself, my team, and you all. I hope this is only the beginning, and I'm looking forward actually to meet you, to have you again in our future conferences. I really wish that we can do a physical conference, and then we meet physically actually in the physical conference, and we can actually have a chat and a lot of discussion between all of us actually. But maybe the the opportunity has not arisen yet. So once we have it, then we'll have it there, right? So again, I thank you very much, Nick. Thank you, Novra. Thank you, Lola. I wish you all the best in your future undertakings. And Happy New Year 2023.
Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. And I hope to see you again in the future soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Bye.
Dr. Safi and Nick. See you. Happy New Year.